Hello, everyone. Our model is since when. We are going to talk about grammar from the book Supergal. Let's just start with the present perfect versus the past tense. Now, we can use the present perfect to talk about an action that happened in the past when the exact time it's not known or important, okay? Also, we can use the past tense when the exact time is given. So, like for example, when in the past. For example, have you ever been to France? Yes, I have been there. Do you know when exactly? Like the year, the day, the month? No. So, this is the present perfect, okay? And when were you there? I was there 2 years ago. So, this is the past tense when you know exactly when was it? Like 2 years ago, or months, or days, or whatever, okay? Complete the paragraph with the verbs in parentheses. Use the present perfect or the simple past tense, okay? For example, people have tried to keep cool or keep their food cool for ages, okay? So we use the present perfect because we don't know exactly the time. The Chinese invented ice cream 4,000 years ago. So we use the past because we know it's the exact time, 4,000 years ago. And they kept it in snow in underground chambers, okay? In Baghdad in the 18th century, a king imported snow and put it in the walls of his summer home to cool the home. So we know exactly the time. It was in the 18th century, so we use the past tense. In 1834, Jacob Perkins built a machine to make ice in London. So, do you know the exact time? Yes, so we use the past tense. The first home refrigerators appeared in the early 1920s. Again, we know the exact time. Since then, people have reserved their food in refrigerators. So, we use the present perfect because we don't exactly know the period of the time. About the same time, air conditioning of large spaces became possible. Since that time, people have cooled themselves with air conditioners in stores, offices, and homes. Now, the present perfect with for and since. We use the present perfect with for and since to talk about an action that began in the past and that continues into the present. Okay, so from the past until the present. For example, for indicates the period of time, like for 2 months, for a year, for a long time. Since indicates when the action began, like since yesterday, since last night, June, and so on. So, with since and for, we start with the affirmative, the subject, then the verb, then for 5 years or since third grade. Okay. So I is taking have, you, we, they coming with have, and only she and he is coming with has. If you have the negative, then we start with the subject, then haven't or hasn't, then the verb. At the end, we add for today's or since Tuesday. Complete the sentences with for or since. Number one, Hamid has had the same TV for 15 years because it's a number. I have had my laptop since last June, so we have last June. We have worked on this project for a month. My friends haven't visited me since my graduation. We haven't used our car for a long time, so we cannot say since a long time. No, it's only for. I have been drinking tea for years, so we don't know exactly when. Tarek has worn glasses since the age of 7, so we use since because we know exactly the time. And since when we have had that beautiful watch. Now, the questions with how long. For example, we can start the question, how long have you played football? So the answer is going to be since or for. For example, I have played football for 3 years or since I was 12. Also, you can say, how long have you waited? I have waited like since 4 o'clock or for 2 hours. So for today, we learned about the using the past tense, using for and since, and formulate questions with how long. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my class.